Hello, welcome back. My name is Jack the Snack That Smiles Back, and I didn't bother putting a proper shirt on today, so it's going to be singlet and hat and no beard. I'm a true Aussie bogan larrikin today. I've got Emily back with us as always, and Emily, say hello.
Hello.
Ooh, listen to that crisp, clear, new microphone voice.
Yeah, I'm really invested in our relationship.
Let's do stories. Moving over to anti-work. This is a great subreddit that's been building in popularity. I just quit my job because my boss wanted me to cancel my vacation this weekend so he could take a coworker on a date.
Seems fair enough.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Steve, but I need to get this papaya absolutely slobbered on. So can you just end this huge investment to your own personal time you made? About 3 months ago, I scheduled my vacation days with my boss for this Saturday to Wednesday. At the time, I was sort of in a fling with this girl, Ashley, who also worked there. And she was willing to cover my shifts just in case anybody else couldn't. My boss assured me it was on the schedule and that the other coworkers were aware and couldn't take the same days off if it was going to conflict with anything. I was hitting it off with Ashley about 2 months ago, and we didn't exhibit any PDA at work as to not cross the line between personal and work life, no kissing or stuff while at work. But one day Ryan, my boss, called me into his office and pretty much told me to either break it off with Ashley or find another place to work because, in his words, it was inappropriate and a conflict for the workspace. Me being naive and wanting to keep my job, I broke it off with Ashley before we started dating. Fast forward to a month ago, and I started to think to myself that I needed something better in my life, so I don't have to deal with my work's negative atmosphere. I began building my own business startup and told myself that I was going to finish it and continue to work my job so I could pay my bills and put money into the business. I was hoping to stay at my job for as long as it took to at least get my business idea somewhere, and being that my business was to be a free platform for anyone and everyone to use, I knew that it would probably take a long time to actually be in the position to quit my job and focus full-time on my business. So this month, I noticed Ashley was spending a lot of time in Ryan's office, which initially I didn't think much of, but one day after work... But one day after work, when I was leaving, I saw them hugging each other before they got into their cars, and boom, they kissed.
Oh my god, your workplace romance is inappropriate because I want to bang Ashley and you're in the way.
Yes! Oh, that's such what it is!
That's so spicy.
It hit me like a sack of bricks, and I realized exactly why Ryan wanted me to stop talking to Ashley. It was clear that it wasn't because of some workplace rule or us being inappropriate, which we weren't. It was because he wanted Ashley. This honestly made my blood boil to the moment that I put the dots together, and it gave me even more of a reason to quit. But bills are bills, and I needed to suck it up and disregard it so I could continue to earn a consistent income. Fast forward to now. I finally launched my business and made my website live. I worked really hard every day after work to get it finished because I wanted it done and ready to go online before my trip, so I could finally take a break and relax because my mental health was declining a bit from everything at work and me working after work. I spent a lot of time planning my vacation and making reservations because I didn't have a lot of days to work with. My flight is this Saturday, and my boss texted me today to come into work 45 minutes early on Friday, tomorrow, and I said, sure, no problem. Then he texts me saying I need to come in on Saturday and Sunday. I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe he just forgot. No biggie, I'll just remind him. Well, turns out he was fully aware that I was going on my trip and expected me to cancel everything, regardless of whether or not I could get my money back on the trip expenses. All because he and Ashley have plans this weekend. That was the last straw. It finally broke my mind, and I gave it to him through text because he was being such a jerk with his arrogant responses, acting like he was my father or something. I was going to post the screenshot, but per group rules, I'm going to wait until this Sunday, and I will post the texts here.
We're going to do a follow-up.
Yeah, we are. I'm honestly proud of myself for standing up to him because he's always been a bully at work. But now, I'm incredibly nervous to be unemployed because of bills, the cost of my trip, and growing my newfound business. It's somewhat of a relief because ultimately I wanted to focus on my own business and helping others with it, but now I realize that I'm going to have to find a new job somewhere else, hopefully with a less toxic atmosphere. I'm probably going to spend my plane ride searching on Indeed for new employment and finding a way out of this dreadful rat race.
I want to know if there's no like sort of HR situation that it sounds like there probably isn't, but I'm pretty sure if like the paperwork's been done and it's been approved, you can't just ask someone to come in.
Yeah, no, as far as I'm aware, the moment you declare to your boss or whatever that like my shift's covered by this person, that shift is now that person's responsibility. Like,
or even
once you agree to take someone's shift, you are responsible for that shift and turning up on time, not that person anymore.
Having him come in because you want to take his ex-fling that you told him to break up with because you wanted her is such a low move. And poor Ashley, she probably didn't even know what was happening, and she was like, oh, this guy, he just kind of sort of ghosted me. I didn't know what was happening, but then Ryan was there. Oh, he swept me off my feet. She's probably none the wiser.
I hope Ashley is someone who's equally as manipulative and just using people to get her way through things, so she's just gonna like dump his butt the moment that Ryan's boss hooks up with her.
She's gotta work her way to the top.
Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend that I don't like the gift she got me and asking for something else? My girlfriend, 22-year-old female, and I, a 26-year-old male, have been together for almost 4 years and live together. She has a stable career and has bought herself a car and was taught to drive in high school. I was never taught to drive, and it's not really necessary because I can Uber, take the bus, or my girlfriend can drive. She's offered before to teach me to drive, but I declined because I'm not really interested in learning because I don't plan on getting a car since they're a lot of money. So, my birthday was yesterday, and my girlfriend was really excited to give me my gift. It was private driving lessons, which admittedly cost several $100s. I was really offended because I don't want to learn to drive. She hyped the gift up like I'd love it, but I honestly hate it. It seems more like it's for her because she wants me to learn to drive than it is for me. I got really upset and disappointed when I opened it, and she kept pushing to ask why I didn't like it. I told her again that I don't care for driving, and it seemed like a really impersonal gift because I don't even want my license or a car, so why would I want this? I felt like she doesn't even know me. And she got really upset, so I suggested she return the lessons and get me something I would like better.
Thanks for putting time and effort into this gift. It's not really what I want, so if you could just return that, get me something I actually want.
Now she's calling me an a-hole and said the lessons are non-refundable and is really upset with me. I don't think I'm the a-hole because I've told her before that I don't want to drive, and I feel like she's trying to change me. So now she's being immature and won't drive me anywhere and tells me I can Uber if I want to go somewhere, even if it's somewhere she was going to go already. Like she went
Thrifting.
Yes, yep. Like she went thrifting and to the grocery store without me. We always go together. And said if I really wanted to go that badly, I can Uber. It's not even like I ask her for her rides ever. I just tag along if she's already going somewhere. I get Ubers to and from work and have a good job, so it's pointless for me to even get a car or license. When I told her that, she said that she's tired of always being the driver and likes to be the passenger sometimes, but to me, it sounds like she gave me a gift that she wants. Because if she hates being the driver so much, I suggested that I could get lessons for her birthday, not mine, and that upset her even more. She said that it isn't a gift for her and she'd be upset if I got myself driving lessons for her birthday. I told her basically, see, so you'd be upset if I got you something that you think is for me for your birthday. And she said yes. So even though I explained to her there's a double standard, she's still insisting that I'm the a-hole. Your thoughts, MLY?
He doesn't even have to get a car. His girlfriend just wants, to have a break from driving all the time. He can get his license and then just drive her car while she's with him.
We'll go to this top comment here. You're the a-hole? Read between the lines, dude. She's tired of driving you around everywhere. It's one thing to be unable to drive. It's a whole other thing to just refuse to drive. What's going to happen if there's an emergency? But mommy, I don't want to drive. I can just mooch off other people who acquired this basic freaking skill as teenagers. Ooh. Now, I'm going to be a bit daring here and suggest why this may be a no a-holes here. I will agree with him that this is a birthday gift. Yeah, it's definitely more so motivated by her wanting him to grow up and, get some independence rather than her actually getting a gift that he likes. And I can respect that. Like, I do ultimately believe that, yeah, welcome to 2021. Driving a car should be a very necessary thing to at least be able to do. And I do want to say, I think the partner here being so petty as to like, okay, you can be upset that he didn't accept your gift as the way you liked him to.
She just needs a break.
Yeah,
It's been
she
so long.
just needs a break, but also, like, come on.
He'd just tag along with her if she was going somewhere. Maybe she just wants some alone time. Because he's like, oh, the only way I'm going to get out is if I go with her today. And she's like, bruh, please, just give me 2 hours by myself.
My friend is trying to expose my open relationship. I am a 24-year-old male and in an open relationship with my girlfriend, who's 26. She is bi and she likes pegging people, and since I'm straight, there's no way I was doing that, so we decided to open up our relationship.
Isn't it amazing how communication works?
Yeah, wow.
And they're both satisfied?
What are you implying here, huh?
Nothing. At all.
Why? What's wrong with pegging? Huh?
I don't even like pegging clothes on the clothesline. I just hang them over.
I do too. That's a great thing to ask people randomly in public. Are you a pegger? Yeah, I'm a proud pegger. Yeah, I actually I find it very therapeutic. Yeah. I have another friend who is trans. That will be important later. At her birthday party, we got drunk and ate edibles and shrooms, and I ended up having it on with her. I kind of regretted it since I normally don't do things like that with my friends, so we talked in the morning and agreed it's a one-time thing. Best keep between us. Our open relationship is kind of a secret. She told my brother about it and he told me. He knew about the open relationship. I told her that I'd really rather keep this between us since my girlfriend wants to keep the open relationship aspect a secret. She told me she's not going to be someone's secret and she'll post about sucking my dick off on Facebook if she wants to. What? That's not how that works. She is basically telling every mutual friend about it. I'm kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place, and I don't want to embarrass my girlfriend. She has a religious family. I'm thinking I deny the hookup, but that feels messed up. My girlfriend isn't mad, she just wishes I could get her to stop. I'm kind of at a loss, and while I don't hide what I do, this feels like I lost control of what's going on now. Now, edit. Not trying to offend anyone. It's okay if you're straight and into pegging. I still wouldn't want to do it myself. Now, again, we disagree. It makes marks in the clothes. It's just it's just not a feasible way to do things anymore, I feel, Like, what does she gain from telling people? Clearly finds a sense of power, knowing this secret and this event that occurred. He doesn't want people to know, but I know, and I'm going to tell you. Ooh, it's so taboo and saucy. Top comment. First, cut off the friend. Secondly, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. You and your girlfriend need to sit down and decide which consequences are the least scary to you. Oh, here we go. Okay, here's a understandable opinion. Just a thought, but is it possible this young woman is upset because she believes you are ashamed of having it on with her because she is trans? That might be contributing to her feelings.
But he's not ashamed, though. He's just mentioned that he doesn't want to tell people. He doesn't want his family and friends knowing, understandably, if that's something you want to keep private.
Well, I think it depends on the way he explained it. Because he says here, I kind of regretted it, since I normally don't do things like that with my friends.
But regretted doing it with his friends. So he wants to do it with people who aren't in his inner circle.
Yeah.
Not her specifically.
And again, I think that's where it becomes a case of how did he explain himself in this scenario? Is she telling everyone that they're in an open relationship, or is she telling everyone that this guy hooked up with me? The other question I'd say is, what point does the consent go to in terms of your freedom to say who you've hooked up with versus keeping things hidden and quiet because the other person doesn't want others to find out? If you don't agree with sharing nudes without that person's permission, you shouldn't tell your sexual escapades with about that person with other people without that person being, consenting to it.
Yeah, I agree. Don't tell people you've had sex with someone if they don't want you to.
Moving back to the ATAR. Am I the a-hole for refusing to apologize to my husband in writing after I cancelled all his family invitations to a Christmas celebration at our house? Wow.
Ooh,
So to give some context, I, 32-year-old female, have been married to my husband, who's 39, for 4 years. I work a full-time job while he does a 3 times a week night shift. We have a 2-year-old and I'm 6 months pregnant. This whole drama started days ago. My husband has a large family, and on every Christmas, they'd gather at his father's house. My father-in-law passed away a year ago, and this year, my husband decided, as the man of the family, to host Christmas at our house. Unbeknownst to me, he sent out invitations for a 5-day Christmas celebration to his entire family, which are about 26 members in total. I found out about it by accident, and I was too shocked to react. I confronted him on it, and he said I shouldn't be surprised and just get used to it because after his father's death, he's now the family's head, and all major family events will be held in our house and in his presence. I freaked out and said, no, this is wrong, and he should have talked to me first before sending out any invitations to his family, knowing I have other commitments like work and taking care of the house and our son. Oh, of course she's the one having to take care of the son, while also being the one who works the most. He said, we'll manage if I took time off work, but that means more workload later, and it'd take away from my maternity leave. Right, so she has to make the sacrifice.
Yeah, and it's you can take time off to prepare for my family. Not you can take time off and relax because you're about to have a child.
Can we seriously have more deadbeat mothers in these subreddits? This is just, it gets too much sometimes. I demanded he cancel the invitations, but he refused, saying, over my dead body. So I killed him. No.
That can be arranged.
Then he walked out. I ended up sending a mass text to everyone who received an invitation explaining that we will not be hosting Christmas this year. He found out and went off on me, calling my behavior outrageously appalling, and said that I broke his word to his family and made him look small and with no authority. I, in a very strict tone, replied that I didn't sign up to host a celebration and accommodate 26 people while pregnant, taking care of a toddler, and working. And I don't care if he became the head of the family after his father's death, because it means nothing to me. He took offense to that and walked out almost crying.
Someone questioned his masculinity? I'll
prove you wrong by not being the general idea of what a masculine person is. But I don't know, good on him for expressing his emotions. Just, learn to also respect your partner too. Maybe work on that bit now.
You will do this and you will do this for me because I am the head of this family and you will obey me, wench.
You won't. He later talked about how I disrespected his father and him with what I said and demanded a handwritten apology for cancelling the event and for being insensitive towards him and undermining his authority in front of his family. But I said no apology from me in any form, and the issue is still up, especially with my mother-in-law giving me a stern talk about how I was out of line for disrespecting my husband's decisions regarding the holiday celebration with family. Edit to add, to put this out there, he planned on sitting and telling stories of his dad while I handle everything and his family believe that as guests. It's rude to ask them to help.
So you, a 6-month pregnant woman, have to take time off from your work, cutting into your maternity leave, to host 26 people, cook for 26 people, and none of them are going to help because they believe it's rude. And he's not going to lift a finger because his poor old daddy dearest passed away last year and now he's head of the house. Like, how is he doing anything to help her in this situation or even care? Give her a foot rub.
Damn, this is...
Day done. That's all she wants.
Babe, you're going to need to host this, but I'll tell you what, after these 5 days, I'm giving you the most sensual foot rub.
Yeah, the last 30 seconds.
Oh, here we go. Turns out there is a written apology. Dearest husband, I am sorry that you do not consider me a partner and that you have operated under the misguided notion that I am a baby maker and child raiser that you can also task to organize, cater, and run complex and large-scale family events without consultation or consideration. I apologize for allowing an environment to exist that led you to believe that making such a big decision without discussing it with me and your resulting behavior and callous disregard for your pregnant wife could exist. Rest assured that this will not continue. All the best and happy holidays. Your wife, who is going to have a nap while you cook us all dinner. Nita.
Imagine if she just went along with it, right? But when they arrived, she was like, catch ya, and she just went and spent the week with her family. And he's like, oh, but babe, I don't know how to turn on the oven. Wait, does that go in the fridge? I'm confused. How does a peeler work?
My fiance got fired for manifesting failure. So my fiance worked at a bridal shop. She had an appointment set up at the end of the day, and the person ended up not showing up. She jokingly said I doubt she shows up, so I must have manifested this. Her coworker ran off to tell the boss. Boss pulled her aside and said, you can go home. Called her later and fired her with the reason being, you're manifesting my business failure and I can't have that. I need to let you go. I am absolutely dumbfounded at this reasoning. She was a terrible boss, best for my fiance in the end.
It's like Instagram boss babes gone wrong.
Oh man, it really is that. We're gonna have to let you go. Your vibe is off. I actually know someone who was let go at a local ice cream shop because the store owners, a young 22-year-old couple, told him his vibes didn't fit with the store. According to my roommate, who worked there at the time, they acknowledged that it wasn't his work ethic or his attitude, just his vibes. Further reasoning as to why sometimes, you know what? Boomers' opinions of us are sometimes right.
Roses are red, violets are blue. You're a 4 out of 10, but I still love you. Nailed it!
Yeah, so in case the story isn't clear, my husband says I'm a 4 to 6 out of 10, but I should get over it because he still loves me.
I'm so proud of myself.
Well done. Well done. Everyone leave little applause in the comments for Emily. Otherwise, you're not a true fan of this channel. My husband says I'm like a 4 to 6 out of 10 to him, depending on how I dress. He says he loves me more than anything or anyone, but he won't pretend I'm more attractive than I am, or pretend that I'm the most beautiful or smegsy woman in the world. He says that I shouldn't worry about that stuff because he loves me just the same. But I don't feel that way. I really think of him as the most attractive man in the world. Like, I literally can't see him as not. And when I listen to others, they always say they view their significant other as the most attractive person. He says I'm nitpicking and should get over it. I really can't. It hurts to know that. His voice is so fake, insincere, and monotone when he compliments me. Like, he's forcing himself to say it, and it's the most generic stuff ever. It's always the same 5 compliments, and they're the basic thing you say to people you don't know. And then he talks about a celebrity or even just some chick at the store, and his voice moves, and his words are more thought out and more real. He doesn't say the basic things. I never have caught him staring at me. I've never turned his head. He's tired of seeing me naked, but he says this is all normal, and am I expecting him to put on an act?
Anyone who says that they're tired of seeing you naked does not deserve to see you naked.
I don't want a honeymoon phase 24/7, but I see people comment all the time that seeing their significant other naked for the 1000th time still feels amazing because they love each other so much. Not movies, real life people. Should I get personal therapy to move past this, or should we go to a couples counselor? I will be happy to give more info. What should she do, Emily?
Dump his ass.
Yeah. Well, this is definitely not something that happens in all relationships. I'm a guy, and I'm still very attracted to my wife after 20 years together. There's nothing wrong with wanting that for your own relationship. As well as not finding you attractive, it also sounds like he is quite mean to you. That's not good.
I just want to let you know I'm not actually attracted to you, but don't worry, I still love you. You're still a warm place for me to put my penis every night. As long as you're clothed, obviously.
Oh my god.
Is that alright? Sorry.
Like, I know I'm not a 10 out of 10. But I also know that when you look at me, you're not going to be like, you're alright, but you got a good personality, and that makes you worth it. It's like, well, no, the personality as well is what makes me attractive too. If it was only physique, then relationships wouldn't last past maybe a year or so. Oh, here we go. If the issue is you've had a great Thanksgiving and it shows, you should just start working out and dieting. It'll be easier than cheaper than therapy. If your issue isn't that, a makeover and a wardrobe change is due.
I just want you to change your entire personality and physical being for his pleasure. Because he just needs a more attractive partner, right?
Am I the a-hole for feeling uncomfortable about this? So this was a while ago with me, a 21-year-old male, and my ex, 19-year-old female. We were sitting in my friend's living room, and we were just talking, and she brings up her exes. Now, I'm not one to get mad if she tells me how I'm better than them because she did it before, and I just took it as her being appreciative of me. But she goes and mentions gross encounters she's had with other men, and I asked her politely to stop. She didn't see the issue with it and continued on for about 10 minutes talking about doing you-know-what with other guys, and I'm just grossed out at this point. So I want to leave, and then she told me that I was being immature after I stated multiple times before that I don't want to hear about stuff she's done in the bedroom with other men before me. It really just makes me uncomfortable, especially because she goes into great detail. Needless to say, we broke up a few months later, and she tells me that I overreact and used that as her primary example. So I say again, am I the a-hole? Edit, she was talking about licking dick cheese and getting pubes in her mouth. Just things that are actually gross and nobody wants to imagine or hear from their significant other. Nobody in the room was talking about it, and everyone was kind of offset and didn't know what to do when she was saying that stuff.
I mean, I don't really think you're the asshole. You made your feelings clear, and she just kept ignoring them.
Yeah. It
if
really
you
makes me suspicious when girls, or people in general, do that kind of thing where they overshare despite anyone's request to kind of just leave it there. It becomes to a point where clearly you're doing it to either brag or because those are genuinely appreciated moments in your life that if you had the chance to experience them again, you probably would. How does it feel to be the partner of someone who is openly talking about a fond memory when they hooked up with this person, while your partner's just right there being like, oh, nice, cool. We have a yatar here though. I actually do think you're the a-hole here. You don't have any claim over who she does and doesn't sleep with, especially when you weren't together. If you wouldn't have had an issue with the other people present talking about that same stuff, I do think you're an a-hole for only having an issue because it was her talking about it. She's free to do what and who she wants, and she doesn't need to do labor to protect your feelings around that. If you generally do not like any friends talking like that in front of you, I'll change my vote. But you are an a-hole if you're holding her to a different set of rules because you sleep with her. If that's the topic everyone's talking about, sure. If you're going into enthusiastic detail of the people you hooked up in the past, then yeah, I think you're being a bit insensitive towards your partner in the room with you. That does end today's video. Thank you for listening to these lovely stories and our rambles throughout them. If you did enjoy this video, leave a like, or the button, the pressings of the supporting of channels. Yay! Apologies for having no beard. I promise it will grow back within time. For now though, let's say farewell. Emily, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. And we'll see you in the next one. To do.